Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Pro Wrestling Mid-America. We are in the state of Texas. The city of Houston, the Sam Houston Coliseum, plays host to tonight's events here on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. Thank you all for tuning in. It is late in the evening on Sunday night. Dwayne Martz is here, first in line. It is Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day to one and all. So after a busy weekend, I had a block of time here available to jump online and provide this weekend's Heartland Championship Wrestling action. 4 big matches tonight, including a main event for the ages. Sergeant Slaughter getting his shot at the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Championship held by Jackie Fargo under the watchful eye of Fargo's manager, the one and only Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Plenty of excitement around that match. We will get into that as the night goes on. Also, a number 1 contenders match for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship, as FTR will take on Jack and Jerry Briscoe for a title shot. We have had an open challenge. The team of Ron Garvin and Dan Severn have challenged Whatever We Want to a no disqualification tag team match, and we will see that also tonight, and that is where a lot of the drama began. The night opened with a shot from Jimmy Hart's locker room, as Jimmy Hart's faction, Whatever We Want, aka 3W, has really fallen on some hard times as of late. Key injuries to Terry Funk and Stan Hansen have hamstrung that faction, along with the dissatisfaction of one Barry Windham. Windham made his way up to the top of the ranks. Jay Randis joining us, and had a challenge match against Jackie Fargo for the championship. Fargo cheated his way to victory, and Windham was not happy about that. He had been promised an honest title shot, and Jackie Fargo cheated his way up one side and down the other. And since that day, Fargo has been the target of contempt of Barry Windham, and Barry Windham is about ready to throw his hands up over the whole 3W experience. We saw that earlier tonight when Jimmy Hart announced that 3W had an open contract and a tag team challenge match had been issued, as Dan Severn and Ron Garvin put their names in the hat and said, give us a couple of 3W guys. Windham basically refused to get in on that match. He said, I am not going to be an errand boy for this bunch. I am championship material. I have no place in mid-card tag team grudge matches. And he walked out of the 3W locker room earlier this evening. Breaking news out of Houston. Jimmy Hart didn't know what to do. He was going to give Shane Douglas a call, who's always willing to accept a paycheck from 3W. But Ole Anderson stepped in and said, I have a better idea. I have a partner in mind for tonight, and we don't know who that is. Dan Severn and Ron Garvin don't know who that is. Jimmy Hart does not even know who Ole Anderson's partner will be tonight in the tag team grudge match. So plenty of excitement to come here in the Sam Houston Coliseum. Before we went to air, Derek Bauman joining us. Hello, Derek. The show opened with some dark matches, beginning with tag team competition. The Vachon brothers, Mad Dog Vachon and his brother Paul, the Butcher Vachon, picked up a surprisingly easy victory over the tag team of the Crusher and Red Bastien, when the Vachons double-teamed the daylights out of Red Bastien, pinning him after an awesome face-first double suplex, as the Crusher was unable to make the save. Then we saw the Macho Man Randy Savage pick up a decisive win over Hollywood John Tatum with a flying knee drop. Savage was prepared to deliver his flying elbow off the top rope. Missy Hyatt provided the distraction, and Savage had to deal with Missy Hyatt dodging her loaded purse before just dropping a big knee off of the middle turnbuckle on Tatum and pinning him. 1, 2, 3. Then we saw the team of Gary Albright and Dr. Death Steve Williams pick up a tag team victory over former PWMA champions Danny Hodge and Wilbur Snyder. Williams getting the pin on Danny Hodge by way of the Oklahoma Stampede. Oklahoma on Oklahoma violence in that match. And just before we came to air, it was a tremendous battle between the American Dragon Bryan Danielson and Eddie Graham. Back and forth they went. Graham just about beat Danielson bloody, but bloody Danielson came back with a tremendous rally and pinned Eddie Graham using a discus elbow. So that is where we are starting things off here tonight. And with that, we are now ready for our opening televised contest of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a standard singles match. Introducing first, out of the great state of Minnesota, standing at 6 foot even and weighing 249 pounds, this is Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson headed down to the ring, making his singles debut here in Pro Wrestling Mid-America as part of the 3W faction. And that's why Arn Anderson is not in the tag team match with Uncle Ole tonight. He is making his singles debut against his opponent, the wildly popular man, standing at 6'5", weighing 253 pounds, out of the Jersey Shore. This is Diamond Dallas Page. So DDP and Arn Anderson set to kick things off here tonight on the broadcast. As we get things set up for our opening contest. They come together in the center of the ring, and it will be Diamond Dallas Page earning the opening initiative role and driving a knee lift into the midsection of Arn Anderson. Anderson staggers back a step. Diamond Dallas Page stays on and picks him up into the air and down hard to the canvas with a sit-out powerbomb. Impressive power move off of the opening lockup by Diamond Dallas Page. Page stays on him, Russian leg sweep. And Arn Anderson quickly reverses the Russian leg sweep attempt, and it is Anderson just raking the eye with the laces of the boot. Dirty tactics by Arn Anderson, much to the surprise of no one. Diamond Dallas Page, not taking too kindly to that, comes off the ropes with a big discus clothesline and stuns Arn Anderson. Anderson staggering back a couple of steps. Both these men slowly circling one another. Lots of mutual respect here for their abilities, and as they come together, it is another go behind by Diamond Dallas Page and a swinging neck breaker that dumps Arn Anderson down onto the canvas. Diamond Dallas Page looking good in this one. Another big body slam from DDP puts Anderson back down on the canvas. Anderson still trying to get things going here as Kathy Evans joins us. Hello, Kathy, and welcome to tonight's broadcast. Here's another big clothesline by Diamond Dallas Page. Arn Anderson shaking his head from side to side, trying to get it loose. A swinging neck breaker. Again, Diamond Dallas Page dumps Arn Anderson onto the back of his neck. Anderson still getting to his feet. DDP is on him with another attempt at a Russian leg sweep. And this time another reversal by Double A and a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Diamond Dallas Page, and on a roll of 4, that is Arn Anderson setting his head too soon. And DDP catches him and slams him with a knee jacker to the forehead. And Anderson is down, and now Diamond Dallas Page going to the Diamond Dream. Wants to put him to sleep right here. Anderson fighting his way to the ropes to interrupt that. But Diamond Dallas Page has got all the momentum here. Here's a big suplex by DDP that takes Arn Anderson down to the canvas, and Arn Anderson stays down. DDP with a chance to do some damage here. He's going to go back to that Diamond Dream, the sleeper hold. Can he turn the lights out on Arn Anderson? No. Double A survives that, but Double A really needs to get something going here. As DDP, it looks like, is going to go up to the top turnbuckle for a death jump. And on a roll of 8, it is a flying double axe handle blow off of the top rope by DDP that puts Anderson back down onto the canvas. And now the diamond cutter. He hit him with the diamond cutter, and Jimmy Hart has seen enough. Jimmy Hart is on the ring apron. What's he going to do? Hart jumps up on the ring apron but is intercepted by the referee. Meanwhile, another wrestler from Hart's stable sneaks into the ring and attempts to interfere. So another wrestler from 3W, we'll say it is Ole Anderson, making his way down to the ring and attempting to interfere on behalf of Double A, his nephew. Let's see what happens on the wrestler interference chart. And the roll on the interference chart is 9. Your ally distracts the referee. The referee orders him to leave, but the opponent stays on level 3 offense. So Diamond Dallas Page was ready for that. And he will maintain the offensive here against Arn Anderson. But he is not going to be able to get up to the top turnbuckle for that planned for a death jump, as he got interrupted in the middle of a diamond cutter. And instead, he is going to attempt a neck snap on the top rope. This is a choice F maneuver. He'll need 7 or lower to hit that. And on a roll of 11, Arn Anderson powers out of that move and comes back with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes DDP. Anderson ducks down. Page bounces off the other way and knocks Arn Anderson to the canvas with a running shoulder block. Anderson down yet again. Gut wrench attempted by DDP. Anderson with another reversal, and finally a big knee smash into the midsection puts Page on his back. And Page is staggered. Anderson now with a chance to do some damage. Another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes DDP, and this time on a roll of 10, it is a running double clothesline. Both men are down. Anderson first to his feet. Double A with a chance to work some magic here. He goes for the standing arm bar. That is a painful submission move. Diamond Dallas Page is struggling. Anderson now with a spinning spine buster puts Diamond Dallas Page down on the mat. That spine buster by Double A is a thing of beauty indeed, and an add 1 maneuver. DDP is still down. And Anderson now is going to go for his gourd buster. That's a finisher. The pin roll here 5 or lower. And on a roll of 9, Diamond Dallas Page kicks out. And the match will continue with Anderson still on offense. Anderson finally got some help from his mates in 3W. And now he is going to go for a DDT. He snaps DDP down to the canvas. DDT on DDP. Say that 3 times fast. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll now 6 or lower. And on a roll of 12, Diamond Dallas Page kicks out, and kicks out with authority. Diamond Dallas Page in a world of hurt here as Anderson is taking control, and now a shoulder tackle delivered by Arn Anderson, taking Page back down to the canvas. Anderson follows that up with the hammerlock body slam, that punishing move, where he pins the opponent's shoulder behind his back and slams the opponent down hard to the canvas. And now Anderson with a big left hand nails Diamond Dallas Page. Page finally getting to his feet. They come together in the center of the ring. It is Page with a body slam. And Anderson gets back to his feet slowly. And now here comes Page attempting a discus clothesline. Didn't get all of it, but enough to knock Arn Anderson off balance. And now the Russian leg sweep, and Arn Anderson again gets out the back door of the Russian leg sweep and follows up instead with a knee to the midsection. Page fires right back, ducking around and attempting a spinning neck breaker. Anderson blocks that and comes back with an arm drag. DDP blocks the arm drag, and it is DDP again with a neck breaker, taking Anderson back down to the canvas. Lots of back and forth action between these two very skilled technical wrestlers. Here is a gut wrench delivered by Page, pitching Anderson back down to the mat. And now Page goes back to that sit-out power bomb. Both men are down. Both men slowly getting to their feet. Page first to his feet. And Page comes with another swinging neck breaker. Page maintaining the offensive with another swinging neck breaker. He keeps working the back of the neck of Arn Anderson, trying to soften him up potentially for a diamond cutter. But now it's another power bomb attempted by Page. Anderson hits the canvas hard. They both get to their feet. And Page again is going to try for a big suplex, belly to back style, that takes Anderson back down to the canvas. This match is on to 15 minutes worth of action here. And both men still going at it. Another sit-out power bomb delivered, and now Anderson rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And this is where Anderson likes to play. And sure enough, on a roll of 3, it is Anderson winning the brawl on the arena floor and slamming the head of Diamond Dallas Page onto the ring apron. That, my friends, is going to leave a mark. Anderson now back in control, and he's going to keep things out of the ring and on the arena floor. And again, it's going to be Anderson winning the brawl. This time a foreign object comes into play as Anderson has wrapped the radio cable around the neck of Diamond Dallas Page, attempting to choke him down. The referee immediately puts a stop to that, but Diamond Dallas Page has taken his damage, and now back in the ring, here is the Gourd Buster once again. Arn Anderson going for the cover, and on a roll of 9, DDP again kicks out. But Diamond Dallas Page has now been bloodied. I think it was that slamming of the head to the ring apron that has busted open Diamond Dallas Page. Anderson again pitches Page out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And again, it is Anderson with an Irish whip into the ring barricade. Diamond Dallas Page hits the steel hard. Bear 805 is joining us here. And now Arn Anderson again taking things out of the ring. And again getting the best of Diamond Dallas Page, this time with a kick to the midsection, and just pitches Diamond Dallas Page over the security railing and into the crowd. Diamond Dallas Page in all kinds of trouble here. As they come back into the ring, it is Anderson attempting a shoulder tackle. Diamond Dallas Page able to reverse that, and instead hits Anderson with a clothesline. Both men now are stunned. Page trying to come back. Another attempt at a Russian leg sweep. Anderson is down. Page stays on him. Another sit-out powerbomb. Diamond Dallas Page slow to recover as Anderson manages to get back to his feet. Now another swinging neck breaker by Diamond Dallas Page. Both men are down and both men are digging deep. Another neck breaker by Page puts Arn down on the back of his head. Page with a chance to do some more damage here. He is going to go up for another death jump. But this time Arn catches him. Arn catches Page headed to the top turnbuckle and slams Page to the canvas hard. Page a step slow getting up to the top rope. Anderson now in control, going to go back to that standing arm bar. He's got it locked in. Can he force a submission here on a roll of 3? Yes, he does. Arn Anderson, by submission, with the standing arm bar, picks up a very hard-fought victory over Diamond Dallas Page. So congratulations to Arn Anderson, victorious in his opening singles match here in his debut in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. Jimmy Hart very happy at ringside. Ole Anderson made his presence welcome in coming to the aid of his nephew in that situation. As Diamond Dallas Page really wrestled well, and for a good bit of that match had Anderson on the defensive. But 3W, in spite of all of their turmoil, able to turn the tide in that situation and come away with the victory in our opening televised match of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, the time has come now for our tag team grudge match. We talked about it at the top of the show. An open challenge has been issued by the team of Dan Severn and Ron Garvin. The Severn and Garvin are not really a team. They're just two guys who have had it up to their eyeballs with the shenanigans of 3W. And both men have taken their stand, and finally they have come together to take a stand and issue an open challenge here tonight in Houston for a tag team grudge match with no disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest will be scheduled for one fall with no time limit and no disqualification. Introducing first from Atlanta, Georgia. He stands at 6'1". He weighs 231 pounds. Known as the man with the hands of stone, this is Ronnie Garvin. And his tag team partner hails from Coldwater, Michigan, standing at 6'2", weighing 251 pounds. This is the Beast, Dan SEVERN. So Garvin and Dan SEVERN coming to the ring side by side, shaking hands in the center of the ring as they prepare for who knows what is coming next. Their opponents, led to the ring by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. First, standing at 6'1", weighing 256 pounds, out of the great state of Minnesota, this is Ole Anderson. As Mark Ferguson joins us just in time to see the mystery tag team partner revealed for Ole Anderson. He comes to us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Standing at an even 6 foot tall, weighing 212 pounds, this is Brock Anderson. So Brock Anderson making his Heartland Championship Wrestling debut, being thrown right into the fire with, I guess it would be his great uncle, Ole Anderson, as they're set to take on two very angry men indeed in Rugged Ronnie Garvin and Dan the Beast SEVERN. This is a no disqualification grudge match. We will get the grudge match in play, the grudge match dice in play, as these two teams are set for action. And it will be Brock starting things off for his team against Rugged Ronnie Garvin. They're throwing Brock right into the thick of it here in his Heartland Championship Wrestling debut. And right off the chute, we have Shenanigans. Shenanigans in Houston. Brought to you by Brock Anderson. Let's see what he's going to do. We go to the Face to the Mat Highlight Center booklet. This is a tag team match. Is the man a favorite? No, the match is temporarily halted as Tempers Flair wrestlers are arguing on the PA microphone, as Brock Anderson has taken the microphone and just started cutting a vicious promo on both Ronnie Garvin and Dan the Beast SEVERN. He is not pulling any punches. He has learned from his father very well how to destroy his opponent on the microphone. And with that, Brock Anderson comes out with the momentum, and he is going to start things off on Ronnie Garvin with a big back suplex, dumping Garvin onto the mat. Auspicious debut for Brock Anderson as he immediately has taken control, and now he hits the Gourd Buster. Brock Anderson with the Gourd Buster, and Ronnie Garvin rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor right from the chute. And it is going to be Brock Anderson winning the brawl on the arena floor and dropping Ronnie Garvin stomach first across the steel security railing. Like father, like son, this Brock Anderson getting off to a great start here in his Heartland Championship Wrestling debut. Even if he is on the wrong side of history, perhaps. He has got Ronnie Garvin in a bad way, and now he is going to go up for the death jump. Death jump attempt coming up by Brock Anderson, and Ron Garvin caught him, and Ron Garvin has just thrown Brock Anderson down to the mat. Again, like father, like son. I don't know how many times historically we saw Arn Anderson play that very spot, but now it is Garvin who is on top of Brock Anderson. And Garvin immediately goes right to the Garvin stomp. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. That's going to cost him a point of fatigue, and Garvin is in control. And Garvin is going to go with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Brock Anderson, and on a roll of 8, it is a big back body drop by Ron Garvin that puts Brock Anderson down on the canvas. Garvin now will tag in Dan SEVERN, who wants a piece of this action. SEVERN coming out and going to attempt a gut wrench suplex. This is a choice F maneuver, choice F. And as we go to choice F, he will need 8 or lower to hit that, and Brock Anderson powers out of the attempted gut wrench suplex, and it is Brock Anderson hitting the gourd buster on Dan Severn. How about this kid? He has got his father's genes, and now he is tagging in Ole Anderson to come take charge in this match. And Ole comes right into the ring and establishes a double team on Dan Severn with help of his great nephew Brock Anderson. Severn is being pummeled by both men. Finally, the referee puts Brock Anderson out of the ring, and Ole's just going to drop the elbow on Severn, and Severn now is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. But on the arena floor, that's exactly where Ole likes to mix it up. And it is Ole Anderson slamming the head of Dan Severn into the ring post. Wow. Big move there by Ole Anderson. They come back into the ring, and now Severn falls victim to the kneeling armbar. Ole Anderson going to try and force a submission from Dan Severn right here early in this contest. He is not going to be able to force the submission, but he does extract a point of fatigue from Dan Severn as Ole Anderson is in control. He is a ring general, and he is large and in charge against Dan Severn at this point in time. Anderson now choking his man on the ropes. Severn getting back to his feet. He is exasperated. But as they come together in the center of the ring, it's Ole catching a front face lock. Technical wrestling by Ole Anderson, and here's a quick reversal by Dan Severn. His grappling skills are no slouch in and of themselves. He's going to try for a gut wrench suplex. And on a roll of 5, he got him over and down to the canvas. Ole slowly getting to his feet as Severn tags in his partner Ron Garvin. Garvin and Ole Anderson now the fresh men in the ring. And it is Ole coming out with a whip to the turnbuckle. I actually thought better of that. Instead, Ole Anderson is just going to get his forehead bitten by Ronnie Garvin. Garvin comes out and bites the forehead of Ole Anderson, showing his contempt. As Ole is not able to make the tag, Garvin stays on him with a series of brutal chops. Ole Anderson suffering chop after chop, and now it is Garvin rolling Ole Anderson over into the Boston Crab. Ole desperately trying to get out of the Boston Crab, not able to make the tag. And now it is Garvin with the hands of stone, that big right hand. He's going to try for the cover on Ole Anderson. And on a roll of 12, Ole kicks out and kicks out with authority. Comment from Mark Ferguson. Guess Severn got over hearing the birds flying around his head. I guess so, yeah, indeed. As Garvin is now in control, and Garvin is now going to take things out of the ring. Both these men accomplished brawlers. And now it is a roll of A7, which is A7 out of the ring. That's the best man win roll. These are both A wrestlers, so Garvin gets the win on the arena floor and Irish whips Ole Anderson into the ring steps. Garvin in control now with a big pile driver onto Ole Anderson. Anderson slowly trying to get to his feet. And again, Garvin is going to roll him over into that Boston Crab. How humiliating would it be to make a member of the Anderson family submit? Garvin knows that full well, but Ole Anderson is not going to submit here. And he makes it to the ropes and makes it to his feet. And as Garvin comes at him again, Ole Anderson on the reversal with a vicious stomp to the gut of Ronnie Garvin. That might have even been a low blow. Garvin is signaling to the referee that he's not entirely comfortable with the way that blow was delivered, but this is a no disqualification match, and Ole Anderson couldn't give a hoot. Now here comes Brock Anderson for a double team. They're going to go for a double cover on Garvin, and Garvin able to kick out of that, but he has not yet recovered from the little adventure south of the border that Ole Anderson delivered moments ago. Brock Anderson now in control, and DDT onto the canvas goes Ronnie Garvin. Garvin rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it is Brock Anderson going to the foreign object. And Brock Anderson using the ring steps as a weapon to nail Ronnie Garvin once again. Garvin in all kinds of hurt here. And now a spine buster delivered by Brock Anderson in the center of the ring. He's going to go for the cover, and Ronnie Garvin kicks out. And having seen Brock Anderson live, this guy is every bit the spitting image of his father, Arn Anderson. Physically, the resemblance is tremendous. The way they move around the ring is tremendous. And Brock uses a lot of his father's moves. He is a lot of fun to watch. For somebody like me, who Arn Anderson is in my top 4 wrestlers of all time in terms of my favorites. So I'll try not to be biased, but I am a big fan of Arn Anderson and his son Brock as Brock gets started in his career. And he is in control here against Ronnie Garvin. And they are going to perform a delayed vertical suplex. Actually, there's a mechanic on his card. In tag matches with C.W. Anderson, use assisted Bulldog 3 tag. But given that this is family, I am going to allow him a level 3 move because I am biased. But in either way, it's still a hurt too for Ronnie Garvin, as Anderson now tags in Uncle Ole to take charge here on Garvin, with Garvin still hurting. And here is a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Garvin, and on a roll of 11, that is a big running clothesline delivered by Ole Anderson. Ronnie Garvin is down. And now it is Anderson going back to that kneeling armbar, working the submission hold. The submission roll here would be 6. So Dan Severn's got to attempt to save, and Dan Severn is able to make the pin save. And he makes the pin save in a big way, coming in on the wrestler interference chart. As Dan Severn charges the ring, Garvin takes a point of fatigue. They lose a pin save. And on the roll of 7, it is all 4 men getting it on in the ring. A 4-way brawl has commenced. But it is going to be Ole and Brock winning the 4-way brawl big time and throwing Dan Severn over the top rope. Ole Anderson now back in charge on Garvin, and he goes for a diving knee smash, and that's another add 1. Garvin in bad shape here. He took that one right to the side of the head, and he is staggered, slowly getting to his feet as Ole Anderson is on him with a big elbow drop. Again, Anderson going for the cover. Again, Severn trying to make the pin save, unable to do so. And on a roll of 11, Garvin able to kick out. So Garvin kicks out of the big elbow drop. Now Brock Anderson is into the ring, and we're going to see some double team action here in Houston with the Anderson family. And on a roll of 3, it is a deadly face-first double suplex executed by the Andersons. They go for the cover. And on a roll of 10, Garvin somehow kicks out again. Another kick out by Ronnie Garvin. He's got nothing left in his tank, but he's got a lot more guts than brains, but he keeps kicking out. Brock Anderson now the legal men in the ring. And it is Brock now going with that running bulldog that puts Garvin back down onto the canvas. Garvin struggling to his feet. Anderson stays on him. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Garvin. And it is a reversal as Garvin sends Brock Anderson into the turnbuckle. And a big kick by Ronnie Garvin stuns Brock Anderson. Garvin now follows that up with an attempted Boston Crab. Can Brock Anderson get over and make the tag? He cannot. Garvin will make the tag to Dan Severn. And finally, Dan Severn back into the ring against Brock Anderson. And he's got him in the choke sleeper. Brock Anderson quickly finding himself into the choke sleeper. Will he be forced to give it up? No. He is able to gut his way out of the choke sleeper. But Severn has got him on the offense. And Severn now with a big German suplex. Severn goes for the cover. Again, Brock Anderson barely able to kick out. Now we've got Jimmy Hart on the ring apron, coming to the rescue of Brock Anderson. It is Hart smashing Dan Severn with the megaphone. Brock Anderson hits him with a spine buster. They go for the cover. And Garvin pulls Brock Anderson off of Dan Severn. Severn is out cold, but Ronnie Garvin just pulled Dan Severn out, or pulled Brock Anderson off of Dan Severn to make the save. And now we've got Brock Anderson and Ronnie Garvin mixing it up at ringside. And it is Garvin putting a hurting on Brock Anderson on the arena floor. Garvin and Brock, and it is Garvin backdropping Brock through the announcer's table. And so Brock is out of commission. Severn is out of commission. And the referee is just going to throw this one out. As the brawl has taken to the arena floor, Ole Anderson and Ron Garvin battling up the ring ramp. Brock Anderson is finished. Dan Severn out cold in the ring. And this one is going to end up in a no contest. But a very impressive match for young Brock Anderson. They almost had Garvin dead to rights. Severn was able to make the desperation tag and almost put Brock Anderson to sleep. Before everything broke down, Jimmy Hart slugs Dan Severn with the microphone, with the megaphone. That's going to cost Dan Severn an injury roll. And on a roll of 11, Dan Severn's going to suffer a minor injury, nothing that's going to put him out of action, but he's going to need some stitches after that megaphone shot. Once they wake him up, Ole Anderson, Ron Garvin brawling their way out to the arena floor and back up into the locker room as Jimmy Hart tends to Brock Anderson, and now Arn Anderson is out also helping Brock to his feet. Brock doesn't want to be helped to his feet. He's going to get up under his own power, and Papa Arn could not be more proud. All right, what a crazy grudge match we just saw. Tag team action there. I don't suppose there's any congratulations to be had by anyone since there was no winner. But certainly a new development for the team known as 3W, as Brock Anderson has now joined his father Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson as part of Team 3W. All right, let's catch up with the action in the chat room. I wasn't able to keep up with all the chatting. Looks like Jim Lawrence joined us. Let's go back. Let's see. Bear 805 came in. Mark Ferguson, Severn got overhearing the birds, and Ronnie didn't eat his dinner. So yeah, and then here comes Jim Lawrence. Glad to see you here, Jim. Yeah, love the pictures. Let's see. It was Tom Latimer and Silas Mason. What a thrill that must have been. No pun intended, to referee an NWA World Championship match. Jim Lawrence, I am honored to call you a friend. And yeah, that's how exciting was that? And Mark Ferguson reflecting on that. I've reffed Brock Anderson before, and he looks and moves exactly like his dad, indeed. Yeah, fun to watch. I felt that same way when I met Bridget Riley. I don't know who Bridget Riley is, Mark. Maybe you can give us some additional background about one Bridget Riley. And yeah, Arn Anderson Brock Anderson and Kerry Morton with their fathers at ringside again. How thrilling must that have been? When an opponent rolls for a hot tag, can you have a double tag? I'll say yes, just because. There's no rule, I think, one way or the other in the book. But yeah, I do allow for the offensive team to tag when the defensive team tags. Someone stop this. Brock is too young to be hurt, but Brock is out there dancing with the wolves, and his family heritage couldn't be more proud of young Brock in his Heartland Championship Wrestling debut. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our next contest, also a tag team match. This one should be of a much different tenor than what we saw in the last match, as this match is a number one contenders match for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship. Those belts are currently held by the team of Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson. Hansen, of course, is injured, and that has been the subject of some debate, whether Hansen would try to wrestle hurt or whether they would try to recruit a new partner. We still don't have answers to that. We do know that that Ole Anderson will not be able to bring in a new partner when 3W has their rematch for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. You cannot sub in and out guys for a World Championship in that fashion. But that's another story for another day. This match is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. And the winner of this match will go on to face Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship. And before the introductions, let me read this comment from Mark Ferguson. She's a woman boxing champion, multiple kickboxing champion, and stunt woman. She was a Putty Yellow Ranger stunt person and Bulk's girlfriend. She's also done stunt work on TV. Wow. Okay, interesting. All right, introducing first. At a total combined weight of 443 pounds, both men hailing from Asheville, North Carolina, this is Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, collectively known as FTR. And their opponents hail from Blackwell, Oklahoma. At a total combined weight of 441 pounds, this is Jack and Jerry Briscoe. So Jack and Jerry Briscoe, brothers, taking on two men that, look and act and wrestle as much like brothers as any team you'll ever see, the team of FTR. This should be a really exciting match. And this is a number one contenders match for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship. And it is going to be Jack Briscoe starting things off against Dax Harwood for the FTR team. And it is, again, shenanigans. Here we go. Dax Harwood starting some shenanigans here. We saw Brock Anderson cut a vicious promo at the beginning of this last match. What are we going to see from Dax Harwood? We are going to see, is he the favorite? No. Opponents alternate blows on wrestler while wrestler's partner watches helplessly. So the Briscoe brothers aren't going to let FTR get the jump on them as Jack and Jerry Briscoe take to the offensive early in this match on Dax Harwood. And Jack will open up with a deep arm drag on Dax Harwood. Harwood quickly going to try and tag in his partner, and here comes Cash into the ring to bail out his partner. Cash Wheeler now in the ring going for a backslide, and he gets him over. But Briscoe gets back to his feet, rolls through that, and quickly reverses that into a double leg takedown. What a wrestling move by Jack Briscoe. Great reversal on young Cash Wheeler, and Cash is just going to tag Dax right back into the match. Now it is Dax versus Jack, and Dax comes out with a side headlock takeover, and Jack reverses that. These guys are just not going to out-wrestle Jack Briscoe. I don't know what their strategy is, but now it is Briscoe instead with a whip to the turnbuckle. Here's Dax coming off the turnbuckle, and on a roll of 10, it is Jack Briscoe hitting a big running clothesline on Dax Harwood that puts Harwood down onto the canvas. Briscoe now in control, and he is going to go to a lateral guillotine, attempting to wear down Harwood. And Harwood works his way out of that, and Jack will tag in brother Jerry Briscoe, making his first appearance in this match, as Jerry comes in with a falling net leg snap, working the opponents. And now Dax is going to be victim of another falling leg snap, and this time Dax able to reverse that. And Dax Harwood reverses his way out of the second leg lock, gets back up to his feet. And as they come together in the center of the ring, Dax whips Jerry into his corner. And now we've got a double team going on in the corner, and a double hangman DDT executed by FTR. That is nasty. Very effective tag team work. The Briscoes can only sit back and admire that as Cash now the legal man in the ring. And Cash is going to go for a power slam. This is a choice E maneuver. Choice E, he will need 7 or lower to hit that. And he got him over and down to the canvas hard. Jerry Briscoe is in trouble, desperately trying to get over and make a tag, able to do so. And now Jack Briscoe, the legal man in the ring, just like we thought it would be. Lots of chain wrestling, counter wrestling, and lots of frequent tags. Jack Briscoe now the legal man in the ring, going for a body slam. That's a power move, and Cash Wheeler able to power his way out of that attempted body slam. And now it is Cash coming back with a belly-to-back suplex attempt of his own. He gets him down, and Jack Briscoe slowly gets back up to his feet. Once again, they come together in the center of the ring, and it is Dax with a knife-edge chop. Jack Briscoe fires right back with a double leg takedown. And Cash is down, this time unable to make the tag as Jack Briscoe now takes control, riding his man. Amateur style, deep arm drag on Cash Wheeler. Both men getting to their feet. And this time as they come together, it is Cash again with a double team move behind the back, getting Dax into the ring for a assisted leg drop off of that lockup. And Jack is now going to have to try and get over and make the tag. He is unable to do so. And Dax is in the ring and in control now against Jack Briscoe. And he is going to go up for a death jump. Up to the top rope goes Dax Harwood. But on a roll of 6, that is going to be a flying double axe handle off the top rope. Harwood delivers on Jack Briscoe, and Briscoe once again is down. Dax Harwood now, they're going to go for the shatter move. The shatter machine, this is a +2 tag finisher. Pin roll here will be 4 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Jack able to kick out. But Jack in some trouble here. Cash Wheeler, now the legal man in the ring. And Cash is going to go up for a death jump. Up goes Cash to the top rope. On a roll of 9. Let's see, is that the agility roll? No, on a roll of 9, that is a flying clothesline off the top rope. Cash Wheeler puts Jack Briscoe back down onto the canvas. Jack Briscoe in some trouble here as Cash is going to go up for another death jump. And another big flying clothesline off the top rope by Cash Wheeler. Here comes Dax into the ring for some double teaming on Jack Briscoe. And on a roll of 7, it is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered by FTR onto Jack Briscoe. Briscoe's still down. He's been down for a long time. And Dax Harwood now is going to pitch him out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Harwood the better of the two brawlers. And on a roll of 6, that is going to be Harwood winning the brawl on the arena floor with a big suplex onto the arena floor. Harwood now still in control as Jack Briscoe. It's been an uphill battle for him this entire match. And now Harwood going up for another death jump. And this time on a roll of 10, that is the agility roll, which means the more agile of the two men, being Jack Briscoe, is able to get up to the top turnbuckle and superplex Harwood off the top rope and down to the canvas. Jack Briscoe now in control. Jack Briscoe is going to go for a Thez press. This is a choice G maneuver, so he'll go ahead and use that death jump chart, and he nails that Thez press and puts Harwood back down onto the canvas. Finally, Jack able to tag brother Jerry back into the match. Jerry Briscoe now with the advantage on Dax Harwood. Harwood tries to get out of the ring. Jack Briscoe not going to let that happen. And instead, Jerry rolls Dax Harwood over into a Boston Crab. Trying to slow the pace of this match down is Jerry. As brother Jack took quite a long period of time getting pummeled by by both members of FTR. Jerry's got it slowed down now. He is in control, and he now is going to go with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Dax Harwood, and on a roll of 8, that is a running back elbow by Jerry Brisco that stuns Dax Harwood coming off the turnbuckle. Jerry now with a whip to the turnbuckle, again going the opposite way, and this time Dax Harwood reverses that whip to the turnbuckle, and as Jerry comes off the turnbuckle, Dax catches him with a quick kick to the midsection. Jerry now stunned. Dax in control with a fake punch into a DDT. That's going to leave a mark as Dax tags in his partner Cash Wheeler. Cash Wheeler now coming into the ring and in control, and they are going to perform a double team powerplex. That is an add one tag maneuver for FTR. So Jerry Brisco eats his first point of fatigue. And Cash Wheeler in control now. Goes with a fireman's carry into a backbreaker. Is Jerry going to be able to get over and make the tag? No, he cannot. FTR has effectively cut off the ring. And now another double team powerplex on Jerry. Costs Jerry a second point of fatigue. Dax Harwood now the illegal man in the ring. Dax Harwood in control, and he is going to go up once again for a death jump. And once again, it's not going to work as Jerry gets there first, and Jerry launches Dax Harwood off of the top turnbuckle and down to the mat hard. Jerry Brisco now with a chance to do some damage. He's going to go for an Oklahoma side roll. He's going to go for the cover. The pinroll here would only be snake eyes, and Harwood able to kick out, but Jerry Brisco now in control. After that Oklahoma side roll, Jerry with a butt drop to the leg. Harwood getting to his feet, and Jerry's going to tag Brother Jack back into the match. In comes Jack Brisco. Jack Brisco comes with a big drop kick, and that puts Harwood on his keister. Brisco follows that up with a lateral guillotine. Harwood fighting the pain, trying to get out of that one. Finally rolls through, gets back to his knees. Jack Brisco still in control, and he is going to go for an airplane spin. This is a choice E maneuver. So he will need a roll of 10 or lower to complete that, and he is able to get Harwood around, and around again, and around again, and down to the canvas hard goes Dax Harwood. Harwood stays down, and now Jack is going to tag Brother Jerry into the match for a double team attempt. And on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker executed by the Briscos on Dax Harwood. Harwood is down, and Brisco now in control. He's going to go back to that Oklahoma side roll, again with another pin attempt, and again Harwood kicks out. You cannot go to sleep on Jerry Brisco because he knows 6 ways to Sunday to pin a man. And now it is a lateral guillotine attempted by Jerry Brisco, weakening Dax Harwood. Harwood slowly making his way back to the ropes, and Jerry hits him with a falling leg snap. Finally, both men getting to their feet as they come together in the center of the ring. Oh, Harwood gets him. Double leg takedown into a big spine buster delivered by Dax Harwood. Jerry Brisco is stunned, and Harwood finally able to tag Cash Wheeler back into the match. Fresh man in the ring for FTR. Slingshot shoulder tackle attempted by Cash Wheeler, but Jerry Brisco dodges that attempt, and it is Brisco who returns fire. He's going to attempt a drop kick. That is a choice C maneuver. He's going to need 6 or lower to hit that, and he got him. He got him good with that drop kick. And Cash Wheeler is going to attempt to tag his partner back in. He makes the tag. And as Mark Ferguson would have us know, Jerry also making the tag to Jack. Both men coming into the center of the ring, and it will be Dax Harwood making the initiative with a series of jabs to the side of the head of Jack Brisco. Harwood follows that up with a side headlock takeover. Jack unable to make the tag. And attempts another side headlock takeover, but Jack reverses this one, and Jack into a fireman's carry. That's blocked by Dax. Dax on the receiving end of that is going to attempt a short arm lariat. He's going to need a roll of 7 or lower to hit that, and he nails the short arm lariat on Jack Brisco, and Jack Brisco is stunned. Dax back in control. Is going to try that short arm lariat again. This time Jack dodges the short arm lariat and hits Dax with a knee breaker. Knee breaker delivered by Jack Briscoe. Harwood unable to make the tag as Jack maintains control with another big drop kick. And that is going to send Harwood out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it will be Jack Briscoe going to the well. Foreign object coming into play. It is a steel chain picked up by Jack Briscoe. Probably Cash Wheeler tried to pass that over to Dax. It's intercepted by Jack Briscoe. He's going to take a whack at Dax Harwood with that steel chain. It will not cost him a disqualification as Harwood takes one right to the schnoz. And now it is back to the lateral guillotine goes Jack Briscoe. Now it is the Briscoes going for the double team. And on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker delivered by the Briscoes that puts Harwood back down onto the canvas. Jerry Briscoe now the legal man into the ring. He's going to work the leg. Butt drop to the leg. Can Harwood make the tag? Yes, he can. And it is Cash Wheeler now back in the ring against Jerry Briscoe. And this is a really good match. We haven't had a lot of high spots, but just very competitive, very back and forth. Lots of reversals, lots of chain wrestling, lots of frequent tags, and enough rough stuff to make it real. I know people have different opinions about using bootlegs or independent guys in against established guys or traditional guys. But, this is exactly the type of match. FTR, a dominant tag team in the present day. Exactly the type of match that I would enjoy seeing if it were a possibility in real life. So Cash Wheeler is in the ring, and he is going to go for a European uppercut that stuns Jerry Briscoe. Jerry quickly tags brother Jack back into the match, and Jack will come in and deal with Cash Wheeler. Jack with a big body slam. Cash Wheeler powers his way out of that. And now it is the double team powerplex. As Jack was unable to get the body slam, and instead it is a double team by FTR that puts another point of fatigue on Jack Briscoe. The legal man in the ring once again is Harwood. And it is Harwood going for a brainbuster. And he is going for the pin. The pin roll here would be 4 or lower. And on a roll of 8, Jack able to kick out. Jack now in trouble. 3 points of fatigue he is taken. Harwood stays on him and goes for another brainbuster. That's going to make a pin rating of 5 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Jack kicks out again. But now it is Jerry coming into the ring for an attempt at tag team interference. In lieu of a pin save, and on a roll of 6, it is Cash Wheeler being put out of the ring. And that's going to give Jack Briscoe the opening to take control on Dax Harwood. And it is Briscoe with a deep arm drag that takes Harwood down to the mat, and Jack able to tag in brother Jerry. A well-timed intervention by Jerry Briscoe to rescue brother Jack. And Jerry now is in the ring, and he goes to the single leg takedown. And Harwood on the reversal. Dax Harwood coming back instead. He's going to try a short arm lariat. He's going to need a roll of 8 or lower to hit that, and on a roll of 4, he knocked his block off. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 5. On a roll of 4, he may get him. Jack's going to have to make the pin save, and on a roll of 3, Jack able to make the save. Wow, how about that? Just in the nick of time, Jack Briscoe makes the pin save. And now again, we've got all 4 men in the ring. But it is Dax Harwood who is going to win the brawl. And now Harwood and Wheeler have a chance to deliver on the Shatter Machine. So Jack makes the save. all four men hit the ring, and Jack Briscoe is dispensed out of the ring by Cash Wheeler. And now it is Wheeler and Harwood with a double team opportunity. And on a roll of 5, they got him. So a very, very tightly contested match. And it is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler winning the number 1 tag team contenders match, as Dax Harwood pins Jerry Briscoe after the Shatter Machine. So congratulations to FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, as they will go on to face Ole Anderson, and who knows who is going to tag up with Ole to face these two guys. Stan Hansen is hurt. Arn Anderson could get that spot. Brock Anderson is now part of the fold. Jimmy Hart is still trying to talk sense into Barry Windham, who is another member of 3W who is not really interested in being a dirty work guy, but maybe the promise of gold will be enough to lure Windham back into the mix. So that's going to be a very interesting situation yet to come. But for tonight, congratulations to FTR. They are your winners, and they are your number 1 contenders for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. All right, let's catch up on some chat. I know there was some great banter going on as I was rolling that match. Let's see, we left off with a discussion of the stunt woman that Bridget Riley that Mark Ferguson was telling us about. The double tag rule. The other thing I do on a double tag is that if both wrestlers tag at once, I will roll initiative again. So it's a 50-50 as to which wrestler hits the ring first. And that's, again, just another house rule that I have put into play. Neil Lau, welcome to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Velvet did card 200 tonight. Memorable card, Neil. I hope you'll give us some more details. Jim Lawrence, I have an idea for a hot tag rule. If you roll a successful defensive tag on level 3 defense, roll 2 dice. On rolls of 6 or lower, the fresh offensive wrestler starts on level 3 offense. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that, but it doesn't make sense intuitively, but it makes sense in terms of how many times you see in a wrestling match when that hot tag is made, the guy comes in a house of fire and just cleans house. So it would certainly set up that type of a situation. Interesting suggestion there by Jim Lawrence. I'll have to give that some thought. Some back and forth with Neil and Mark about the virtues of that rule. Mark Ferguson, my wrestling, pre the late great Hogan, we had matches like this all the time. Great psychology as the people understood you had to wear the man down. Of course, they believed it was real. Dr. X joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Drew, Dax, and Cash are tough. I have their cards. Yeah, these are nice cards. Barry Walsh put these together. I'm not entirely sure that Cash Wheeler at a -1 agility, -1 power with, and both these guys have double finishers. So, yeah, I mean, these guys are probably carded a little too strong. Cash Wheeler in particular has -1 agility, -1 power, a level 3 tag move on level 1 offense. Both the FTR men have that. Wheeler has an add one tag move on level 2 offense, as well as both a 0 singles finisher and a +2 tag finisher on level 3 offense. So yeah, I mean, I think if you statted this out and ran it through the whatever the mathematical formula is, the raw rating or whatever they call it. As I look at these cards, I think they probably are a little overpowered. Cash Wheeler in particular. But certainly great artwork by Werner once again, and I love these guys as a tag team. They're fun to use. I might and Dax also has an extra add one tag option on level 3 offense once per match. So yeah, I mean, I think these guys are overcarded relative to other great tag teams. They've just got way too many tag team bonuses on every level of offense, and you know, these guys are probably a little too strong, but still fun to use. And I think what I will do with these guys is they both have a 0 finisher on level 3 offense, and I think in tag action I will knock that back to just a standard level 3 move rather than an automatic finisher. And then they will be forced to rely on their tag finishers in tag action. So yeah, that is probably what I will do with these guys moving forward. Okay. I got both cards and I agreed to. Okay, yeah, thank you, Dr. X, for confirming that. And again, no aspersions to anybody. I'm not creative enough or well-versed enough in, you know, the history of wrestling to make my own bootlegs, so I have no criticism whatsoever. Barry, you know, great guy, good friend of mine. You know, we see each other at the Waterloo event every year, and I love Barry, but yeah, these cards a little bit too stacked for my particular taste, and so it's up to me, promoter, and I will scale back those singles finishers when FTR is in tag team competition. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for your main event of the evening, and wow, what a night it has been. We're already over an hour into the show, and we haven't even gotten to the main event yet. Lucky thing, tomorrow is a holiday, and we can all turn our alarms off. I am looking forward to that. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Excuse me, a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. And this match is for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. Hailing from Parris Island, South Carolina. Standing at 6'4", weighing 305 pounds, this is Sergeant Slaughter. And his opponent is your reigning and defending Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Champion. He stands at 5'11". He weighs 251 pounds. This is Jackie Fargo. Fargo, of course, accompanied to the ring by the ubiquitous, the ever-present Jimmy Hart. We saw Jimmy Hart already pay his dividends once tonight with that dangerous megaphone, taking a whack at Dan Severn and busting him open. And Hart will be ready to do whatever it takes to make sure that his man, Jackie Fargo, is able to leave Houston with his title intact against a very capable and very popular challenger indeed in Sergeant Slaughter. And here we go. They come together in the center of the ring, and it is Sergeant Slaughter who will take the initiative. And it is Sergeant Slaughter who comes out with a handstand knee drop. That is a power move. Slaughter, the more powerful of these two men. The agility is equal. And Slaughter is now in control on level 2 offense. And he goes right to a throat drop on the top rope. Wow. Sergeant Slaughter pulling no punches here. This is war. And Sergeant Slaughter is ready for it. And Sergeant Slaughter now goes to the Slaughter Cannon off of the middle turnbuckle. That is a devastating move. And he has got Fargo down on the canvas. Slaughter following that up with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Jackie Fargo. And on a roll of 4, Slaughter sets his head too soon, and Fargo takes advantage, grabbing Sergeant Slaughter and dropping him headfirst into a pile driver in the center of the ring. And Slaughter is stunned. Jackie Fargo now is going to pitch Sergeant Slaughter out of the ring, and here we go to war. Sergeant Slaughter and Jackie Fargo, both A-rated brawlers on the arena floor, and on a roll of 7, it is Jackie Fargo winning the brawl on the arena floor and slamming the head of Sergeant Slaughter into the ring post. So Slaughter gets his bell rung quickly here in this title match, and Jackie Fargo is going to keep things on the arena floor. And once again, it is Fargo winning the brawl on the arena floor with a big body slam onto the arena floor. Sergeant Slaughter hits the concrete hard. And we're back. Can you hear me? We had a internet interruption here from the Dave Cave, but it appears that things are back. So give me a shout out in the chat room. Yes, Kathy Evans, thank you. Thank you for the for your patience. Let's see. I do not remember where we left off. I think we left off with Jackie Fargo winning a brawl on the outside of the ring with Sergeant Slaughter. So we will go with that, and we'll pick up with Jackie Fargo in the on the offense, and it is Jackie Fargo with a ringside weapon. A ringside weapon deployed by Jackie Fargo. It is the bell hammer. Jackie Fargo has picked up the bell hammer and slammed it upside the head of Sergeant Slaughter. That is going to cost Sergeant Slaughter a point of fatigue and potentially a disqualification here. There will not be a disqualification. He got away with it. And Slaughter is now hurt, and Jackie Fargo is in control here, and he's going to go right to the atomic drop. He's going to go to the finish. The pin roll here will be 5 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Slaughter able to kick out. But Sergeant Slaughter is in a bad way here. He just got his bell rung literally with the bell hammer, and now he's taking the atomic drop, and now Jackie Fargo going up to the turnbuckle for a death jump. Coming off of the top turnbuckle, he nails Sergeant Slaughter with a flying double axe handle. And coming off of that, he's going to go back to the top rope again. And this time he hits again with a big superplex off of the top turnbuckle. Sergeant Slaughter is down. And Jackie Fargo is going to go up to the top turnbuckle yet again for the 3rd time. Fargo is going up, and this time Sarge caught him. The 3rd time is a charm, and Jim Lawrence will probably tell you the 3rd time somebody tries something, it never works. And in this case, Jackie Fargo gets caught and thrown down to the turnbuckle, and Sergeant Slaughter now is in control. He's going to try a vertical suplex. That's a choice H maneuver, and on a level of 12, he hits that one big time. And now it is Sarge going for the cover, and Jackie Fargo forced to kick out. What a reversal of fortune there for Sergeant Slaughter, as he was able to overcome A couple of big death jump moves by Jackie Fargo. Throw Fargo off the top turnbuckle and nail him with a big vertical suplex for a near fall. Slaughter now is in control, and we go out of the ring again. Out of the ring again we go. And this time it is Slaughter winning the brawl on the arena floor with ramming his back into the ring apron. Jim Lawrence, if he's still here, will confirm for us the ring apron is indeed the hardest part of the ring. And Jackie Fargo just tasted it that time. And now Sarge with another Slaughter cannon. And it is Fargo rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor of his own design. And now we're going to see the shenanigans chart come into play. Out of the ring again is in play. Brought to you by Jackie Fargo. And it is going to be Fargo going again to a foreign object. He's got the bell hammer once again, and he is coming after Sergeant Slaughter with the bell hammer. But Sergeant Slaughter is trying to defend himself, and we're going to go to a gut check roll. And the gut check roll is won by, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Sergeant Slaughter wins the gut check roll. And it is Fargo Slaughter who slugs Sergeant Slaughter with the bell hammer. Slaughter gets one in on Fargo, getting his revenge. Slaughter now in control. Jimmy Hart beside himself. That's cheating. That's not fair, says Jimmy Hart. Only my guys are allowed to use the foreign object. Another Slaughter cannon puts Fargo back down onto the mat. Sergeant Slaughter goes with a backbreaker drop. Both men struggling to their feet. Sergeant Slaughter still in control, and another throat drop across the top rope has stunned Jackie Fargo. Can Slaughter get to the Cobra Clutch? That's what he wants. That's what he's trying to line up for. He can't get there as he pitches Fargo out of the ring yet again. And this time on the arena floor, it is the Sarge winning the brawl with a diving clothesline off of the ring apron. Sergeant Slaughter hitting that Slaughter cannon off the ring apron that puts Fargo back down. And now Sarge with another Slaughter cannon and Fargo back out of the ring yet again. More shenanigans coming into play here, brought to you by Jackie Fargo. And this time on the shenanigans chart, we're going to the outside interference. Outside interference by Team 3W. Here comes Arn Anderson to ringside to attempt to help his man. Let's see what happens on the outside interference chart. As Jackie Fargo is in trouble and Arn Anderson is here to lend a hand. Arn Anderson distracts the referee. The referee orders Arn Anderson to leave. And it is Sergeant Slaughter who is still on the offense. As the referee having none of the shenanigans by Arn Anderson. Slaughter back in control. And back out of the ring we go again. And this time it is Sarge winning the brawl on the arena floor big time with a suplex onto the arena floor. We may see a count out here on a roll of 4 or lower. We will not. But Fargo has taken another point of fatigue and he is in big trouble. And now Sarge is going out of the ring yet again. This one about to break down as Sergeant Slaughter again wins the brawl with another diving Slaughter cannon off of the ring apron. Sergeant Slaughter is in control. Jimmy Hart now going to do something about it. Jimmy Hart coming in. Hart distracts the referee and the opponent while Hart's wrestler grabs the megaphone and attacks the opponent. Roll disqualification 6. And the disqualification does not happen. And Slaughter now gets slugged with a megaphone. So this match has gotten crazy. Jackie Fargo now back in control. Out of the ring we go again. Fargo now doing damage with a foreign object. He's got the ring cable, the TV cable wrapped around the neck of Sergeant Slaughter. We will not see a disqualification here. The match staggers back into the ring with a jumping stomp from Jackie Fargo. Can Fargo go for the win here? He's going to go up for another death jump. And he hits a flying death jump off the top rope. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 5, and on a roll of 7, Slaughter able to kick out. Both these men are hurting big time. This is a major brawl. Jackie Fargo now goes to the atomic drop. The pin roll here is 8, and on a roll of 6, he got him. Jackie Fargo is your winner with the atomic drop after a brutal brawl. Inside the ring, outside the ring, foreign objects, outside interference. And finally, Jackie Fargo with the atomic drop has picked up the victory and holds on to the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. All right, thank you again for bearing with me through the technical issues here in the Dave Cave. We have finished up the show. Hopefully everybody was able to see the finish in controversial fashion. I seem to have good connections according to OBS. So yeah, thank you everybody. Neil Lau, Jim Lawrence, Bear 805, Kathy Evans, Mark Ferguson here earlier this evening, Dr. X, Derek Bauman was here. Jay Randis, I believe, was here. And Dwayne Martz, first in line at the turnstile here tonight. So thank you one and all for tuning in. Great show here tonight. Sorry again about the technical glitches, but we got through it all. And congratulations to this man, Jackie Fargo, your reigning and successfully defending Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Champion after a brutal battle against Sergeant Slaughter. All right, folks, thank you all for tuning in. I anticipate being back on the channel next Saturday with another show from Heartland Championship Wrestling. I believe next Saturday we will be hailing from Raleigh, North Carolina, with a show from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. No, that's Wednesday night. So Saturday will be Heartland Ladies Wrestling from Cincinnati. Should be a good show next Saturday night. One of the matches on that show will be a very intense number 1 contenders match for the Heartland Ladies Tag Team Championship, as the team of Ava Everett and Davienne takes on Lana Austin and Rio. Very intense rivalry there. And I think next week we'll also run the Mistress of Mayhem Championship, Mickie James, scheduled to defend that title against Nicole Savoy. So it should be a good time next week. Thank you all for tuning in again tonight. Thank you, Jim Lawrence. Hopefully Slaughter will get a little revenge on Hart and Fargo later, but it's it's back to the drawing board for Sergeant Slaughter. He had his title shot and he came up short, and so another number 1 contender will emerge to be next in line to try and dethrone Jackie Fargo and the men of Team 3W. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Appreciate you all joining us. That's our stream, and I am out of here.